Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our refresher session for the English language. And so good to see all the familiar names on chat, and especially your default usernames, which will get sorted out quickly. Dushyant, hi, Mani, Pavan, Nagini is here. I am Bablubai is here. Rajashekar, Shubham is here. Kishore, Vidya, Selvi is here. Dushyant is here. Vijay, Anubrat is here. Okay, welcome. Sahil is here. Bhargav is here. Okay. Shekhar and Prasanna and और कौन है? Okay, I can't help but notice errors in your chat comments. Vijay. Okay, so one other thing, I don't want anybody to get take this personally or get offended. I think every opportunity is a learning opportunity. So I'm just gonna quickly pick out sentences from what you've written and just ask you to recheck what you've written. Is that correct grammar? Isn't there an issue with tense? So I'm just going to call out your names and then I want you to check the sentences that you've written. How can you rephrase those sentences? Vijay is one. So Vijay is new to Talent Sprint. Welcome Vijay. So see, I've given you like special attention because you're new. Exclusive attention just for you, Vijay. Okay, so while that happens, just a quick update. Hi, Manideep, welcome. So, Bablubai, yeah, I know. I thought I saw you last time. You were there in my last session, right? I remember seeing that unique chat name. Hi, GV. Thank you, Bablubai. Give me a short name to call you, boss. Should I call you Bablu? Should I call you Bai? Okay, so hi Priya, hi Ashok. So good to see all of you guys. We're not going to waste any time. 6 minutes gone already. Let's get straight into the Shubham's like, you're not new, Bablubai. We've seen you, boss. Okay. Sahil. Okay, Sahil is new transparent. Welcome. Bablu it is. So, Vijay, were you able to correct that sentence? I think we'll have to consciously start making this week's AM was pretty easy. That's what you feel, Dushyant? Easy for you. I don't know if it was easy for everybody else, right? So we're gonna take a look at a couple of questions as usual. For those who are new, we're always looking at questions from the All India mock test that just got over during the weekend. We look at some. We look at some questions from those from that test, right? So last week we spent time on phrase connectors, and I think it was a slightly difficult close passage. So we spent some time on that, and this week again we'll just take a look at. Usually we focus on something that is a newer pattern, right? Something that we don't often take time to practice. So like fill in the blanks with a variation, or spot the error with a variation, or if there is a challenging question type, and we know that jumble sentences, are always a challenge for a lot of us, no matter how much we practice, right? Which means predominantly we are not taking a lot of time to practice it consistently. And closed passage also happens to be a good question type to practice, simply because through closed passage, I always feel that you can get to, what do I say, master other question types as well, like fill in the blanks, right? Closed passage is just a larger version of fill in the blanks. Sai Kiran, go to discussion forum and put in the search field preparation for English. I've answered this question individually to a lot of people, and I've given them steps to follow. So when you write how to prepare in English, preparation for English, whatever, in the search field, it'll bring up those questions that I've answered previously, and you can go through it. Okay. So can we get started? I'm going to share the PPT. Why is it not visible, Naveen? Yeah, so Selvi brought up a good point, which is to start from tricks and tips and tricks. Yeah, we included that new segment recently, but yes, I agree with Tamil Shelvi. Do that. Oh, Gaurav, what is your message? I'm sorry. Can you repost your message? I think I missed it. Never intentional. I may have overlooked it. Thank you, GV, for the YouTube links. Those of you who are facing any challenges hearing me, or the quality of the video is not right, please use the link that GV has provided. Sharing PPT. Let's go. Let's start. Usually how many minutes is it, Madhu? Half an hour? Maybe it was extremely easy, I don't know. Let's look at a couple of questions that we have. So the first question that we have here is close passage. We all know what to do. So let's quickly look at that. Which is never before earlier. Okay, which is never before earlier, rephrase that, Vijay, for me, the last sentence. Oh, Gaurav. Honestly, Gaurav, it's not intentional at all. Good evening, Gaurav. Exclusive, just for you, so you don't feel left out. Yeah, it depends on how many questions do you all have for the AIM. That's funny. Let me know. Yeah, ideally it's supposed to be for 1 hour, right? Each section was only for 20 minutes. Which is correct, 1 hour. 20, 20, 20. Quant reasoning English. Oh, like that. So that's an issue, Naveen. Okay, let me take a look at it. It shouldn't ideally say that. Okay, so Shubham is saying the challenge could be that your English section is complicated for you. Okay, Vijay, we will talk on the forum. Write to me separately. I'm not following what you're saying actually. Okay, just to clarify everything, usually the test is for an hour, right? which means each section, if you have 3 sections, it'll be quant 20 minutes, reasoning 20 minutes, English 20 minutes. That is 40, 50, 60, 1 hour. So what is the confusion? Okay, while you guys figure this out, I'm sure your friends will help you with this, right? I saw a lot of you commenting and giving responses to the challenges you all are facing with respect to the test. But otherwise, please write to us at support, and we will respond to you. Okay? If you're facing any particular technical challenges. All right? Okay, so we're going to start. And this is the first closed passage that we have. What do? We always read the context, right? And so I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. It's a very short one, only 5 blanks for this passage. So can we look at 30 seconds? Your time starts now. Read. Those of you who've taken the test, please be patient. Allow others to respond as well. Give them time. 30 seconds, you should be able to read the entire, skim the entire passage. So I'm reading it along with you guys. So Joshikant, what we can do is, why don't you post a couple of questions in the forum? Like what sort of questions are you expecting? When you say improve the standard of the test series, basically the support team kind of collates questions and puts it up, right? So we can give them feedback. So if you looking at, as far as I know, they are mixing it and jumbling, putting as many different varieties of questions, including the new pattern ones, right? So if you're looking for something specific, I would suggest you put up some sample questions in the discussion forum, and I can take that back to the support team and say, hey, you know what, this is probably what is the need of the hour, and we can look at it. Yeah. Now before you start giving me answers for the blanks, I have a generic question, right? The reason why we skim the passage is for us to get an understanding. What understanding are we looking at? Couple of things, right? Is the passage predominantly positive in meaning or negative in meaning? Is there a problem addressed, or are they generally talking about a specific situation or a component or a sector, right? And in the passage, it's all about the progress of, why we are showing progress in what and all areas, right? That's what the passage is about. And we know, let me project the passage. We know that predominantly the passage is very positive, right? I mean, if you look at the topic sentence, it says, we live in a wonderful era, all round progress, right? There is some sort of a satisfaction and complacency. Why? Because we're doing really well. Yes. Science has made tremendous, obviously it has to be a positive word again. And if you look at it, there's fast and comfortable, things have made it fast and comfortable, swift and easy, numerous benefits upon mankind, the wonders and miracles of science, paying tribute to modern civilization. So if you look at the context, I know that, hey, this is a positive message, yeah? Yes, Vijay, right? It's completely positive, and we need to keep this in mind because it'll help us identify associated words. Okay, I'm just going to take a break here to address Joshikant. Yeah, so what happens, Joshikant, is keeping in mind the need of the hour, right? If this is the exam that is approaching fast, the shift will be to that, right? And if next is SBI PO online, right? We just applied. Hopefully all of you have completed your online application by now, right? So there is time till 13th of May, but hopefully all of you have completed by now. So when that exam approaches, the question nature will change, right? So there's always a mix and match. But the beauty of it is we can learn from both the exam patterns. We're not going to lose out anything. Yeah. So now let's quickly look at the first one. My options for blank one is, so we believe that we live in a wonderful era, an era of all-round progress. We think that we have excelled and surpassed our forefathers in almost every respect. No doubt there is dash for this satisfaction and complacency. Are we looking at truth, measure, mechanism, justification and reality? A lot of you came back and said, most of you said justification, a couple of you said mechanism, a couple of you also said reality, right? Okay, so when you look at this context, so I have three different answers for blank one. But what is the clue phrase in the context which is helping you with your answer? Bablu, for example, you have said option E, reality. No doubt there is dash for this satisfaction and complacency. For this satisfaction and complacency is already spoken of in the previous sentence, right? It says, the whole thing, we think that we have excelled and surpassed our forefathers in almost every respect. So this sentence is highlighted by why are we so satisfied and why are we so sure and positive that we have excelled and surpassed our forefathers in almost every respect. The topic sentence answers that, right? It says, because we are looking, we are able to witness, we are able to experience the all-round progress that we are seeing, right? Which means, no doubt there is dash for this. I can't say, the reality is, see, I can't say, no doubt there is reality for this satisfaction. And the reality is that we are seeing the all-round progress. And because of that, we are justified, right? I can't say, no doubt there is reality for this satisfaction. The reality is the all-round progress that we are able to see, and that's why we are saying, boss, we are far better than our forefathers. So it can't be reality. Some of you came back and said mechanism. Mechanism is an unrelated word. What is mechanism? Go back to the context. How can we even think of, why would you think of mechanism? Somebody said mechanism, right? At least that person, if you can answer. What is mechanism in this context for you? Why would you say mechanism? Option C. Of course, one word has different meanings. We know that. So when I say mechanism, there are different meanings, right? A mechanism, I can address a particular, what do I say, like some sort of a gadget or tool, yeah, where everything is working together, right? That is one meaning. Can I apply that meaning in this context? No doubt there is mechanism for this satisfaction and complacency. No, the previous two sentences is answering you. The context is helping you with your correct answer. Why are we so sure and happy and satisfied that we are doing far better than our forefathers? Because of the progress we are able to see. That is why we are justified in the way we feel, right? Not mechanism. Mechanism is a completely unrelated word. Yeah? Clear? Whoever said mechanism, I don't know who that is. I can't go back. So we've identified the answer as D, justification. Let's move on. Blank 2. Science has made tremendous options. Achievement, problem, progress, decline, objects. Obviously, we need a positive word. I will automatically eliminate option B and option D. Between A, C and E, E again is very unrelated, no? Doesn't make sense. Logical sense. Out. So between A and C, what will be our answer for blank 2? We already have the context which is helping us, right? Bala and Gokul would be right. Why? Because remember, I keep saying close passage is all about context, which means there are always repeat words, phrases, which is already giving me the answer. I already have the answer for blank 2 from Can you tell me which part is highlighting that for you? Where are you getting your clue from? Some of you are saying achievement, some of you are saying progress. What is it? Can you identify, Tapa and Rajashekhar and Anil, there is a clue from the context itself. Vijay also says achievement. Yes, Bala. Yes, it's right here in your topic sentence. We believe that we live in a wonderful era, an era of all-round progress. So, science has made tremendous progress. See, remember the clue word, you can make progress. You can't make an achievement, right? Are you getting in terms of collocation? I can show some progress, I can make some progress, but I can't make an achievement. Right? Are you following? Even in terms of grammatical construction, I can't use option A. Yeah? You make collocations. You can make, show progress. Right? But achievement, you can't make an achievement. Okay, so anyway, our clue is in the context itself. Science has made tremendous progress. Moving on. The use of machine in industry has eliminated human labor. Electricity is dash us in 1,000 ways. What are our options for blank 3? Serving, damaging, charging, favoring, hampering. What is the answer? Again, I need a positive word. I know the entire context is positive. So, obviously, it cannot be damaging or hampering, right? Charging again is unrelated, doesn't make any sense. Between A and D, what will it be? Electricity is? No, Kiran, it cannot be hampering, no? Hampering is a negative word, no? Hampering means like an obstacle. Something that is hindering. A negative word. I don't need a negative word. I need a positive word. It has to be serving. Electricity is serving us in 1,000 ways. How is it doing that? The following answers are saying. Right? Ashok, same thing. Not favoring. See, when you say to favor something means, hampering I have told Dushyant. I have put it down there in the screen, see. To hamper something means to act as a hindrance, as an obstacle, not let it move forward, not as in curb progress. Yeah? To favor. Is not the right word here in our context, right? Electricity is favoring us in 1,000 ways? No. Favor is more on the, I can favor someone over another person. Okay? Or, he did a favor for me, right? Favoring is showing appreciation or preference. Like I can prefer one person over the other person. Yeah, so that's not the meaning the context is looking at. So electricity is favoring us in 1,000 ways. No, it's serving us. How does electricity serve us? Remaining context, let's read. Railway, ships and aeroplanes have annihilated distance and dash travel fast and comfortable. Blank 4. Created, has, framed, made, cost. What's our answer? Yes, Nishok, tell me. What do you think is the answer for blank 4? Annihilated means learn some new words in the process. What is the meaning of annihilate? In the context also, what does it mean? Railway, ships and aeroplanes have annihilated distance means to annihilate in this, not, okay, Joshikant is giving me the literal meaning, but in the context, what can I say is, you know, it's no longer a problem for me. Distance is no longer a problem for me because of these modes of transport, right? Like, I don't have to think about walking the distance. These transportations have made it convenient and easy for me to, yeah, eliminate, yeah, more or less. So think of the context and then give me the answer, right? You can't say railways, ships and airplanes have destroyed distance. That doesn't make sense. Though annihilate has the meaning of destroy. In the context, how will I look at to reduce? Yes, Anand, right? So keep looking at the context and tell me, give me the right meaning. Don't just Google and say, oh, annihilate means destroy. Okay, so destroy. No, look at the context, because one word has different meanings in different contexts, right? So here it is shorten, reduce the distance, saving time. So now you tell me, and dash travel fast and comfortable. Framed out of the question, right? Cost, we're not looking at a, what do I say? A reason and consequence, so out. Has cannot be, you know, grammatically it's incorrect. It has to be between created and made. So are we saying railway, ships and aeroplanes have annihilated distance and created, it has not created travel, no, it has to be made and made it easy. Because the next passage, or the next sentence also saying that telephone and telegraph have made communication swift and easy. Made. So no doubt here in blank 4, it has to be made and it can't be anything else. Alright, easy blank. The last blank. Atomic energy has brought in numerous benefits upon mankind. The wonders and miracles of science would dash us in paying tribute to modern civilization. Again, just apply context clues. We've already applied this word earlier. It's the entire context. Keep in mind the positive nature of the context. And tell me what is the answer for blank 5. So Bala says amplify. Bablu says justify, Gokul says justify, Vidya says amplify. Okay, so it's between justify and amplify. What can we quickly eliminate? Definitely ratify. What is to ratify? In the context, can we apply that? Ratify means what? Again, different meanings, right? You can, to ratify means to check if it's correct or not, right? Ratify the answer keys to this question. Is this the right answer for this question? That's one meaning. Another meaning is I'm giving my consent or approval. Okay, fine. You know, I've ratified it. This is good to go. You can publish the test because all the answer solutions are correct, right? So that's not the meaning we are looking at. So ratify is out. Justify, some of you have come back and said that. We will keep that in the parking lot. Would verify us in, again, illogical, grammatically incorrect. I can't use it. There's nothing that is verified here. It's saying the wonders and miracles of science would dash us in paying tribute to modern civilization. Classify again is an incorrect. We're not looking at distributing something evenly or putting them into categories. No. Amplify means to enhance. Yes. Justify is what we've already spoken of, right? In the first blank. No doubt there is justification for this satisfaction complacency. What satisfaction complacency? That we are far better than our forefathers because of the all-round progress that we are seeing, which means it's the same thing that is repeated, right? The last context, the last line is also saying the wonders and miracles of science that we have been experiencing because of the all-round progress would justify us in paying tribute to modern civilization. To pay tribute means what? To pay tribute means? Apply context clues and tell me, what do you think to pay someone or something tribute means what? Yes, Sendamil Shelvi, that is correct, right? That's why we need to keep looking at context. Bala says respect, okay. To pay someone tribute means you are in awe of that person or something, right? Because of something positive. Yeah? So they're saying, hey, you know what? Because of all the wonders and miracles of science that we are experiencing now in modern civilization, it is almost like a blessing to us, right? Banashri says a gift that is given to us, which we need to use wisely, right? So it justifies showing honor, respect, treating it as a gift, treating it right, using the resources that have been given to us wisely, right? So the wonders and miracles of science would justify us in paying tribute to modern civilization. So because of the miracles of science, we need to pay tribute to modern civilization because we are enjoying all of these luxuries. Okay? Awe and reverence. Dhyanesh, I will take that as typing mistake. So there we go. Our answer is justify again, and it is there already in the passage, right? So I would say one of the easiest passages in terms of identifying clues from the passage, right? Because the clue for the fifth blank is in the first blank. The clue for the fourth blank is in the next sentence. Context is helping us. There's a lot of repeat words and phrases, right? Clue for the second blank is in the topic sentence. So Shrikant, not ratify. I already explained. We've just covered one close passage, Meha. The first 5 blanks. Let's move on to our next question type, which is again a close passage. Good. So let's quickly look at this. Apply the same strategies that we've done, right? We're going to quickly read, easy, yeah. So we're going to quickly skim, understand what the passage is, passage is all about, right? So I want to understand where you guys are at. So can somebody quickly tell me, like how Madhu has mentioned, she got 4 out of 5, though the passage was easy. Can somebody tell me, what are your marks? How many did you get right? Whether in the test or now. You know, there are a lot of people who have not taken the test. You're doing it right now with me. So just tell me, how many did you get right? Those who have taken the test are exempted. Don't tell me that, because obviously you know the answers already, right? So I'm expecting you to get 5 out of 5. So you don't have to answer. The ones who attempted it right now, tell me how many did you get? 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, okay, 2. So I'm just trying to understand where we are as a group. How are we doing? Very few of you got 5 out of 5, huh? There is 2, 3, 4, okay. And which blank did you have a difficulty? I also want to understand which particular segment we have to focus on in terms of two out of 5, okay. Is there any minute difference between passage and paragraph, ma'am? Matlab? Oh, the words passage and paragraph. Good question. I wouldn't know actually. I'll have to check it up. I mean, this is a close passage. It is also a paragraph. I think a paragraph is, I can call the entire, I think a passage can be a combination of 4 or 5 passages. I'm sorry, paragraphs. A passage can be a combination of 4 or 5 passages is what I feel. Did I get confused there? Yeah, no, correct. I would be explaining my high court mains next week. In letter writing part, I need guidance on applying for post as given in question. Okay. They just put this in the discussion forum. I'll answer it there for you. Achieved and progress one, okay. This live test is interesting. First blank, okay, 1 and 5, 1 and 5th, okay. 1 and 5th is relatively the easiest one, right? Because you have clues from the context itself. Okay, no problem. Let's do another one. Okay, now that you have an idea, right? Those of you who got 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, I want you to aim to get 5 out of 5 in the next passage that we're going to do. That's also a 5 blank passage. Same strategy, we're going to skim the passage, understand what the context is, look for repeat words and phrases, look for clue words within the context, right? The answer for the blank one can be in blank 4. So I want you to pay attention to the entire paragraph. Okay? Let's do this. projecting. Your time starts now. Please skim. Divya, no, it doesn't matter. A passage can have repeat words and phrases as long as the meaning is intact. I hope all of you are reading. Read. Let me know when you're done. And then I'm going to project all the 5 blanks. Let's do it as a test itself. And then later we'll brainstorm. Okay? That's it. Banashri. Only 5 blanks. Very small passage this is. I'm just gonna give time for everybody to finish reading. So when you're finished reading, just tell me done. I will show you the answers for all the other blanks as well, right? Don't give me the answers. I don't want answers right now. Let's do all the 5 blanks first and then you give me answers. We'll brainstorm later. Upadhya, this will be updated within a day or two, Baba. They are working on it. High priority. Done. Okay, I'm gonna, guys. Okay. Stop. Do not give me the answers. Okay? Don't give me answers. I will project all the blanks, questions for the blanks. You make a note of it, mental note, or you write down wherever, and then we'll brainstorm. Okay? So this is for blank 1. I'm hoping all of you have done. Blank 2, this is your options. I'm just going to put it for like 1 minute, okay? Every blank 1 minute and then we'll brainstorm. Your options for options for blank 2. Brainstorm means discuss in detail. Joshikant, for you. Okay, Vijay has come up with a theme. This is what the passage is all about. Don't give me answers, Tejas. Okay, options for blank 3. Options for blank 3. Okay, I'm going to reduce the time, okay? 30 seconds for each. Thank you, Selvi. How many times to tell them? Nobody is listening to me. Your options for blank 4. Murli is like, they'll say I'm getting a Tamil term. Cycle gap la D answer. Okay, options for blank 5. Last blank, here are your options. Predicaments, domains, outcomes, insuances and verdicts. You guys, don't give me answers means then only you'll give me answers. Okay, chalo. So I have an idea of whoever has given me what. See, I won't even remember what answers you've given because we're going to brainstorm right now. Right. So I'm going back to blank 1. Okay. Here we are. So do you all have an understanding of what the passage is? Somebody mentioned it, right? So the first one we're looking at is Government schools provide substandard learning despite massive public expenditure, forcing parents to dash their wards to private schools despite unreasonable high fees. Options are send, deem, tout, bulge, span. Okay, most of you came back and said, I'm going to take Vidya's sequence, okay, A, B, D, E, C. We'll just put it here, A, B, D, E, C. We'll see if that's correct. Anil Karan also agrees with Vidya, and most of you have come back and given me your sequence. So far, I think all of you are on the same page. I don't see any different answers. So send their wards to private schools. Any challenges in the first blank? Usha is slightly differing with blank 2. She says AA. Okay, but most of you are agreeing with send. What is the meaning of tout? Anybody quickly before we move to the second blank? Tout means just as, you know, knowledge. Nobody? Okay, in the context, we're looking at tout as a verb, right? So as a verb, as an action verb, nobody is trying to sell anything by force here. So tout is an incorrect word in the context, right? Bulge. Bulge, you know, if I bump my head on something, I can get a bump here or a bulge here, right? That's a different meaning. So tout again has a different meaning, yes. Yeah. So anyway, none of those meanings apply here. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next. And bulge also. Span again is correct. Deem again is incorrect. We all agree for a fact that option A is our answer, because we're talking about parents sending their children to schools despite unreasonable high fees. That's the obvious logical answer. Let's move on. Deem means, you tell me. You might have heard about deem, right? I can use deem in various contexts actually. See, for example, you know, I could say, just to give examples of deem, right? It's like considering a thing in a specific manner, right? So the collocations I would come up with is, you know, you attending or attempting AIM tests week on week, I would say I deem that appropriate. That's an appropriate thing to do, right? I deem it appropriate for you to take AIM tests week after week, right? That's one. So you're judging something and you're saying, hey, this is an appropriate way to do something, right? So that is one meaning of deem. Yeah. Or I can say, you know, because police patrol has increased in the area, I deem it safe for you to, you know, what do I say? You can go out at night time, midnight also, no problem, because there is a lot of security provided. So just to give you examples of deem, again, not the right word given our context. So we're going to move forward, and we all unanimously agree that A is the answer, right? Blank 2. What are our options? Let's read. To streamline school education, the government must make it dash for its employees, must make it detriment, mandatory, realm, tandem, reluctant. So this is an easy one, right? This is a pretty easy one. Why? Can you tell me? You can apply word class and tell me. In applying word class, tell me what does it mean? Sorry, somebody had a question. What is deemed and deemed university, ma'am? Murali. I would say, like a prestigious university, something like that, right? Or like a high excelling, university. Maybe they all have, what do I say, merit students, right? Year after year, they've been able to generate high performing students, right? That's a deemed university. Basically, high status. That's what I would say. Anyway, let's go back. What are our options? Options for blank 2. Tell me in terms of, most of you have come back and said BBB. Someone said A, no, for second blank. Detriment. The reason why it cannot be A is because A is not in the right form. What form do we need in the context? Answer that for me, somebody. What is, if I have to use detriment, and please understand, detriment is a negative word, by the way, right? And in my context, I need a positive word, because we're talking about the government must make it dash for its employees, which means I need something as a strict procedure that has to be implemented for the employees to follow, which means it cannot be detriment, no? What is the meaning of detriment? Detriment, first of all, is not in the right form, and detriment is a noun form. I don't need a noun form in the context, I need an adjective form. Hai na? So that's why I will even remove realm, though it's an unrelated word, applying word class, I will eliminate option C. D. Reluctant and mandatory are adjectives, no doubt. But in the context, obviously we need mandatory, right? And what is the meaning of detriment? Something harmful for you, right? Something which is a disadvantage. Okay? Like smoking is detrimental to your health, to your lungs, right? So not the right word. Obviously we know reluctant again is not the right word. Mandatory. Let's move on. Most of you came back and said B only for second blank, except for 1 or 2 who said A. Let's move forward. So the government must make it mandatory for its employees to dash their awards in government schools. Options: implies, plur, well, admit, cull. What were your answers? Yes, morally correct. I just saw your comment now, but we move to blank 3. You have a collocation, no? Sorry, somebody asked what is the meaning of tandem. I just saw that comment. Have you heard the expression in tandem, which means happening at the same time, right? So, what is the clue phrase for you? What is the clue phrase for you for admit from the passage? I'm going to project the passage again. Tell me. There is a phrase. Vijay comes and says, hey, let's use A, option A. Divya also says, let's use option A, imply. The government must make it mandatory for its employees to dash their wards in government schools. We are talking about the employees. Their wards meaning? I hope all of you know what ward is, right? If you don't understand that word, you are going to get all the blanks incorrect, like most of you are getting it right now, and I'm very worried. Who is a ward? Come on guys, who is a ward? Yes, Joshikant, right? No, ward means somebody whom you are taking care of. In this context, we're talking about your own children or somebody you are providing education to, right? So, for its employees to imply their wards, what is to imply? Hey guys, if you want to expand your vocabulary, I would like you to take as many tests as possible. I would like you to practice more of closed passage. I'm implying that one of the ways in which you can expand your vocabulary is to attempt a lot of closed passages, because there are a lot of options, you'll learn a lot of new words, you'll expand your vocabulary, right? So imply is not the meaning here, right? Incorrect meaning. To admit their words, right? To admit their children. So please understand the context. It cannot be A. I don't know why most of you came back and said imply. Splur is an incorrect word again. We're looking at an action word, a verb. Whelm means what? Cull means what? Let's quickly add these words to our dictionary. What is the meaning of whelm? I don't even know if there's a word called whelm. I've heard of helm, H-E-L-M, which is, I mean, L is silent. I know overwhelm, right? Cull, what about cull? Somebody comes up with the meaning of whelm, please let me know. Cull means? You're some sort of a bringing some sort of a limitation, okay, or in terms of even killing, I would say. Pavani is a part of overwhelm. Cull is a, I'm sure it's a new and unfamiliar word. Yeah, destroy, kill, limit, right? So these are all not the words that we need. We're talking about burst just for the fact that the entire thing is addressing, what do I say, education and how certain things have to be run and done in the education system. And we're talking about employees admitting their words, employees, parents sending their words to private schools, right? So obviously it has to be admit, right? Keeping in mind the context. Cull is a root word. Okay. Chalo. So, no doubts there again in blank 3, to admit there was in government schools. We're going to move forward. Make salaries performance oriented, replace contract teachers with regular ones, depoliticize teachers' appointment, impart career counseling and additional dash to teachers. Blank 4, my options are plights, hedgers, bows, host skills. I'm sure there are a lot of words that you have no idea about from these options. Plight I know, right? This is my plight. What? That I have to work and go through this online course because I'm looking at a shift in industry, right? I'm interested in bank jobs, but this is my plight. Or a mother, you know, who has to take care of 5 kids can say, this is my plight. My life revolves around these kids. I have nothing else to do. I have no time for myself, right? This is my plight. That's not the meaning we need. Option A is out. What is hedgers? H-E-D-G-E-R-S. So what's the, most of you have come back and said E, skills, right? Can you pick the collocation for me? From the passage, can you pick the collocation? Identify the word that you will associate with skills. Quickly. Let me see who's going to give me that collocation first. All of you said skills. Blank E. Perfect. That is correct. What is the clue word from the context which you can associate with skills? What is helping you quickly decide that E is the answer? Pick the word. Now, 20 seconds I'll give you. No. No. No, 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 no. 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 Come on. Not even one of you are. Read that entire. No, guys. No, no. You're. Nishok. Very good. I like you. Impart. See, you're imparting. This is the adjective and noun. Additional skills. Career counseling, additional skills. That is the adjective and the noun. But what are you impart? You impart skills. Okay, this is your clue word. You impart skills. Career counseling and additional skills, right? The verb that you will associate with for blank 4 is imparting skills. To impart. Okay. So, very few of you were able to identify that, but it's okay. Just applying logic. So, okay, let's quickly look at other words. Hedgers. Hedgers means what? Anybody? Have you come across that word before? Is it a new and unfamiliar word for you? Hedger means what? B-O-U-R-S-E, that's another word. What does it mean? I have come across hedge. Bose is to do with, and something to do with, I would say, stock market. B-O-U-R-S-E. Okay, so again, an unrelated word here, I would say. I only know the noun form. I don't know if there is a verb form for it. Okay. What about hedger? Did somebody come up with hedger? Hedge, yeah. Yeah, same here. So, I have no idea what hedger is, but I know what a hedge is. Right, I can throw something over the hedge, some sort of a what do I say, a finish line or something where something starts, like it could be a fence, okay, or a bunch of trees, right, the hedge, and then I can peep over the hedge, right? That's what I'm familiar with. I don't know what a hedger is actually. And what are the other options we have? That's it. Hosts we know. So the answer obviously is skills. Let's move on. Let's not waste a lot of time. We have the last one. To teach us and regularly monitor. One who hedges is a hedger. Oh, goodness. Okay, fifth blank. Predicaments, domains, outcomes, insuances and verdicts. What the heck is insuances? Okay, I don't know if there's a word like that. But what are your options for last blank? I think it's a typo. I don't think there's anything called issuance. There can be an issuance, right, or an instance. Yeah. So most of you come back and said, see, outcomes. We need to monitor. Definitely not domains or verdicts or predicaments and whatever this option D word is, which I think is a typo error. It has to be outcomes, right? We need to keep track of what are the results, what are the consequences, right? If I'm doing something, I'm implementing something, I need to know what progress I'm making, and that I will know only with the result or the performance or the outcome of my effort. So it has to be outcomes. Yeah. So how many of you got 5 out of 5 in this? Again, I don't want to know what I answered. Shelby, I said Bose means to do with, the noun form is to do with stock market. I answered that. I think you missed out on my explanation. Predicament. Predicament means I'm in a dilemma. I don't know what to do. I'm puzzled. Yeah? Unable to find clue in one. Okay. So ideally, again, relatively easy passage. I would say the previous passage was easier than this passage, but I'm glad to know that a lot of you got 5 out of 5. Right? Nobody below 4. Anybody below 4? GV and Usha, which blank did you miss out on? Shrikant as well. Which is the blank you didn't get right? Vijay also. Which blank you didn't get right? Fifth one, huh? Fifth blank. Huh? Shrikant, verdict means the judge giving his or her verdict. Okay, you are free to go, or you are guilty of this crime. That's the verdict, right? Fifth blank. How come most of you got fifth blank incorrect? That's the most easiest one, no? Okay, fine. Anyway. Okay, so we have an idea, close passage, yeah, we're good to go. We're going to move on to the next question type, which is fill in the blanks, slight variation. Let's read the directions. In each of these questions, 2 sentences, 1 and 2 are given. Each sentence has a blank in it. 5 words, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 are suggested. Out of these, only one fits at both the places in the context of each sentence. The number of that word is the answer. No. Vijay, what I would say is, we have watched the session, watch my previous session where we did a closed passage. That's the kind of difficulty level you will get in PO, not this. Okay. Now, let's look at these 2 sentences. The militants who attacked the Hiranagar police station and Samba army camp dashed a shopkeeper who lied to them, saying his name was Salim Khan. The policy has not dashed the farming community from severe financial pressure. So basically, these 5 words, we have to choose a word which fits both the blank, right? Which means you need to look for, again, you know what will help for this sort of a direction? Collocations will help a lot. If you're really good with collocations, right, it will help a lot. Let's look at the question again. So, Bala Gokul has come back. Vidya and Rajashekar are saying option E. Okay. Please remember that the option that you choose must meaningfully complete both those sentences, not just one. Okay. Keep that in mind. Now you tell me, what is your answer? Why paired is used? We'll explain. You tell me the answer first. So, most of you are coming back and giving me options between B and E. Okay. Let's look at it. I'm gonna go from the back. So, Dushan says identified suits best. How does it suits best? Let's see. For example, option 1, I can say the militants who attacked the Hiranagar police station and Samba army camp dash a shopkeeper who lied to them saying his name was Salim Khan. Yes, identified can fit this context. Context 1, no doubt. But can it fit the context 2? The policy has not identified the farming community from severe financial pressure? No. We are talking about there is a problem that is happening, right? And the policy has not been easy on the farming community. which means they are not exempted from this severe financial pressure. Identified is a wrong word for the second context. I can't really look at identified. It fits perfectly. It may fit perfectly in the first context, but not in the second context, right? What about the other option that most of you came back was option B. Let's look at option B. It says, the militants who attacked the Hiranagar police station and Samba army camp spared a shopkeeper who lied to them, saying his name was Salim Khan. Now, I can look at this word in the first context, thinking on the assumption that even though they attacked that police station and even though this guy lied to them, they still spared his life. They did not do anything to him, right? So that way, meaningfully, I can use spared in the first context. What about the second context? The policy has not spared the farming community, spared them from severe financial pressure, which means the policy, instead of making it easy for the farming community, instead of being an advantage to the farming community to lessen the pressure that they are facing, it has not spared them, which means they still have to undergo that pressure. The policy has not been advantageous. The policy has not been beneficial. The policy has not been helpful for the farming community. So it did not spare them from severe financial pressure, right? So I can use spared. Spared is the only word that I can use in both the contexts, which will be meaningful. Not identified. Identified is suitable only for the first sentence, not the second sentence. The policy has not identified the farming community. You can identify someone. Identify means what? To be able to pull them out, right? To be able to single them out. Like from a group of people, I identified that that guy was nervous, right? There's an interview that's happening. There are 10 guys who have come. I'm looking at everybody and I identified that that guy is nervous because maybe his demeanor, his action, his behavior is very obvious, right? Here, they are not identifying the farming community. The policy has not spared them. They have to go through that pressure. So, answer is B. Let's move on. Next one. So, this one most of you got wrong because most of you came back and said option E. Let's look at the next one. If the panel's recommendations are accepted, it will dash into a larger share of central funds for the least developed states. Second sentence. Reforming country's stagnant economy requires harsh measures that would dash into job losses. My options are translate, transform, transgress, transcribe, get. No, but Anand, in the second thing, the meaning is not that they recognize the farming community. The meaning that the context is giving is the policy did not help the farming community, saving them from that financial pressure, which means it did not spare them, right? It did not give them that leeway. That's the meaning. Okay, Ashok says B. B. Meha says B. So, we need to understand, no? What are all our other options? Let me see, have some more answers. Most of you are saying transform. Any other answers? Are you sure? So far, I've only received option B. Unanimously, is everybody agreeing to B? Don't you think other options can fit? Get. Okay. Somebody says get, somebody says translate. Yeah, I was waiting for option A. Get into is a collocation, okay. Transgress, I mean, are you asking for the meaning or you're saying that could be it? That's okay. Bye, GV. Translate fits here. Translate, okay. So basically now I have some options, right? Some of you have said option A, some of you have said B, some of you have asked if A, some of you have said E, some of you are asking, hey, why not C as well? There's a question mark with C, transgress. So which means we need to understand the meaning of all these words, right? So let's quickly look at that. Shall we? Are you guys with me on this? Okay. Now, most of you came back and said B. I'm going to go from the last option, okay? Get. If the panel's recommendations are accepted, it will get into a larger share of central funds for the least developed states. Okay. Reforming countries' stagnant economy requires harsh measures that would get into job losses. Okay. To get into means what? It's more like an entry, right? Isn't that the meaning? This phrasal verb, get into, gives me the meaning of what? Hey, I got into this university. Right? I'm just giving you an example, which means I got admission. I got an entry. That is not the meaning both the context requires. So, get is obviously out of the question. Out. Next. I know you guys are keeping in mind the collocation into. There are lots of collocations, right? But the objective is for us to identify the right one. Let's look at transcribe. Nobody said transcribe. Why? Because transcribe is again a completely different meaning, right? We don't need that meaning at all. I'm sure most of you are familiar with transcription as a job, right? Where you're listening to something that is already recorded. It can be some written work or somebody spoke something, right? And you're listening to it and then you're writing it down. It's a job, transcription, right? That's not the meaning that we need. So transcribe is out. Again, we have to choose between A, B, C. Transgress. I don't think anybody said transgress, because transgress is a completely unrelated word. Transgress means it's like you're breaking a law, right? Or a moral, like you're sinning, right? So those who transgress will be severely punished, or those who transgress amounts to sin. So that's not the answer. So we have narrowed it down to A and B. Most of you said B, some of you said A. What is the difference between translate and transform? Let's quickly pay attention to these two words which you have come back and said. Transform. To transform, the first word that comes to mind for me is change, right? To transform, modify, right? So I can say, any of you got a new haircut? I don't know, let's say for example, Neeraj, okay? Neeraj got a new haircut and the haircut has transformed him, right? He looks completely different. It has changed his personality altogether. That's one meaning, right? And transform, if you ask me, is a very positive word, right? Change to something in order to improve something, right? I would say that you either change the way you look in terms of your appearance, or change the way you think, your attitude, your character. You can bring a change in your character by shifting your attitude or by changing your attitude, right? Or something can be improved, a transformation that happens. Yeah. So maybe there is a, what do I say? Some sort of a recent development in your neighborhood which has transformed the area. So if I look at transform, it is always giving me a positive meaning. It is improving something, right? I want you to keep this in mind. Translate. Translate again has different meanings, right? If I look at translate, translate also is to change something into a new form. Lot of meanings are there. Translation. It can be like, we've heard people talk in a particular language, right? If I say something in English and a lot of you may not understand what I'm saying, one of people who are listening, your friend could translate that to you. This is what she actually meant. Translate to you in a different language, in Hindi or Tamil or whatever you're comfortable with. That is one meaning. Another translate is to what? To change something into a new form, especially turning a plan into something real, right? But The only difference between translate and transform is the outcome does not necessarily have to be positive. Are you following? Are you with me? Yeah? Let me give you an example. So, let me say, for example, how does this theory translate into something practical, into practical policy? Right? Now that I've explained to you what translate and transform is, I've given you an example also. Now you tell me, looking at both the contexts, what would be a more effective word here? Translate or transform? Think and tell me. I would ideally say, look up a lot of example sentences for transform. It would bring in the meaning of some sort of an improvement. Okay, so now that you have an idea, now tell me what is the answer. Look at the context and tell me. Rely on the context. Because if you look at the second context, it says reforming country's stagnant economy requires harsh measures that would. No, Bablu. The answer is actually option A. Translate into job losses, not transform. Translate, you guys, translate. Because the second one is talking about job losses, which is negative. That's why I stressed on the positive negative aspect of these two words. Reforming country's stagnant economy requires harsh measures that would translate into job losses. As a result of that, the change would be in this way. We're not talking about a positive change, na? That's why the answer is option A. Though transform into is a collocation, it's not the right collocation here. Translate into also is a collocation, right? Look at the context that I've given you. How does this theory translate into? Translate into also is a collocation. And in the context, our answer is option A. Translate and not transform. Yes, it does. Especially in the second sentence only it fits, Neeraj. In fact, because of the negative aspect to it. Yeah. So what I would like you guys to do is, if you are so confused, take these two words. Look up a lot of example sentences with these two words, understand the meaning that these sentences are bringing, then you will have an idea, right? It's always good to put it in context. We're going to move forward. She has done her best to keep calm but finds herself trembling with dash and indecision. Pakistan said that the most favoured nation status can't be granted to India when there is dash on the borders. What is your answer? B. That is why I gave you the shift in the meaning. Tension, 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 tension. Some of you saying, Nishi says stress. D or E? A, anxiety. Somebody says anxiety, okay. So it's A. We can definitely rule out B, no? Obviously. Because we obviously know that we need a negative word in the context, both the contexts, we can rule out B. We have to choose between A, C, D and E. Most of you have come back and said D, some of you are saying E, some of you are saying A. What about C? Nobody wants C, huh? Nobody likes C, huh? I don't see C at all. Hey, who's this? Yoha. Bala Yoha. It definitely cannot be peace, Baba, because that's positive, no? We need a negative word. This time, Bablu is like, this is 100% tension. Chalo, let's see if you are correct. Okay, now, obviously again, since most of you are coming back and giving me all of the options, let's look at it, right? What is anxiety? Anxiety is definitely, I would say, nervousness, right? A feeling of nervousness, no doubt. Or you are worried about what? Mostly about something in the future. Right? So, you guys can be anxious about your exam results. You don't know. Unnecessarily you get nervous and you worry about, okay, I wrote the exam but I don't know how I have performed. So, you can get anxious about something that is going to happen or might happen in the future, right? That is currently happening or might happen in the future, right? So, just like how children feel a lot of anxiety about attending school for the first day, on the first day, we are anxious about our exam results, right? Keep that in mind. That's the meaning of anxiety. Peace is out of the question. Nobody said strain. Again, we don't have to look at it because, strain, when I think of the word strain, I'm looking at, you can have a strain, like a physical strain, like, if you lift something suddenly, or excess weight can put a strain on your health as you grow older, right? Stuff like that. So, that's not the word, and I don't think any of you came back and said option C. We're going to rule out option C. Tension. What is tension? Tension, again, I would say, when there is tension, no, it's more like, what do I say, friction. Tension happens, it's like something is causing that tension, right? There's always an equal and opposite reaction when tension happens. So, either you are angry or you have some sort of a fear, and it's always between two groups of people, right? Either they don't trust each other, and you've heard this collocation, right? There are growing tensions between these two countries, right? And that's one of the clues in your second context as well. So basically, what is tension? Let's put it down. So we're saying it's again fear, anger, okay? Or I can also say it's again a feeling of nervousness. Let's complete this. Fear or anger between two groups, right? Either they don't agree or they don't trust each other. That's when tension happens. A feeling of nervousness before, let's say, an important or a difficult event, right? This is also when tension happens. Again, I'll use the same example of you waiting for your exam results, right? You can feel a lot of tension. You can experience a lot of tension as you wait for your exam results, right? So that's one meaning. Another meaning is friction, because you're not agreeing, you're not coming to the same consensus, right? Stress. Some of you said stress, right? When does stress happen? Stress happens over a period of time, in fact, right? It builds. Tension builds, turns into stress, right? Great worry because you're going through some difficult situation. So when can somebody undergo stress is when tension builds up, and over a period of time it affects your body and you undergo stress, right? So working late night over a period of time can cause stress, right? It is a condition. And because you are experiencing stress, as a result of that, you might get headaches, you might have problems sleeping, right? So understand. And how, so is stress the right thing here? So we're talking about prolonged tension here, right? That's when stress happens. Now in our context, you tell me, and some of you came back and gave me a collocation, which is tension on the border. So if I, yes, exactly, right? Banashri, correct. Between, if I have to choose between anxiety and tension, somebody is asking, Dhyanesh, what is the difference between anxiety and tension? Anxiety is, again, nervousness, no worry. I mean, no doubt, worry again. It's about the future, yes. But here in our context, for the second context especially, it says, Pakistan said that the most favored nation status can't be granted to India when there is tension on the border. So tension specifically addresses some sort of a friction, some sort of a disagreement between two groups, right? Given our second context, tension would be the most appropriate word, right? And Madhu again also points out very clearly, stress does not happen between two groups. Stress is a condition that you experience because of added tension, prolonged tension, all of that. Yeah? In border, always tension. Can you please tell me what's the collocation in second sentence? Tension on the borders. I mean, tension on the borders as a phrase, you will find it on Google. Just Google it and see. There's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of sentences that will come up. Tension on the border. Yeah? So that's why I gave you the meaning of tension in two different contexts, right? Clear? So our answer is tension. Nishi, I didn't understand your question. As it is when there is so, stress is suitable. And please explain, ma'am. I'm not understanding. Okay, Nishi got it. Okay. Okay, can we move forward? Yes? Let's look at this. Interpol has issued an arrest warrant for Britain Samantha Liu Waite, the wife of Jermaine Lindsay, one of the 2005 London who was being dashed with the Nairobi Mall attack. In the first one, it's the same thing. The feeling of nervousness before an important, difficult event, right? We don't know something she's going through, that person. She has done her best to keep calm but finds herself trembling with tension and indecision, meaning. So maybe she's anticipating something, right? Maybe she's going through a situation. She's trying to be calm to handle the situation, but she's unable to because there's so much of tension and indecision that she's experiencing, right? It's a second meaning that I said. The same meaning as anxiety, a feeling of nervousness or worry about something that is to happen. It can be an important decision. See, indecision, that's your clue word there in the first context. When are you undecided? Something important that you have to decide, make a decision, right? You're not able to do that, and that's causing a lot of tension because of that. Yeah? Chalo. Last one, let's look at this. Is this the last one? Okay, there's one more. Fine. Let's do this quickly. Interpol has issued an arrest warrant for Britain Samantha Liu Waite, the wife of blah 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 blah. And then it was so slippery that some of the walkers dashed arms and proceeded very carefully. What are our options? Attacked, held, linked, caught, joined. Tell me. What are your answers, guys, for this one? Some of you are saying held, 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 held. B, most of you are saying B, okay. Gokul says C. Majority have said B. Jay Murali agrees with Gokul and says linked. One of you says D, caught. Let's go with caught. C-A-U-G-H-T. So I have B, C and D, mostly B, okay. Anand is like, I am giving up, no idea, sorry, please leave me out of this. Okay, so let's brainstorm, okay. Chalo. Interpol has issued an arrest warrant for Britain Samantha Liu Waite, the wife of Jermaine Lindsay, one of the 2005 London bombers who is being dashed with the Nairobi Mall attack. Now, which means the first context, understand the context again, right? Yes, very good, Murali, right? This person, an arrest warrant has been issued for her. She has not yet been caught, right? Why has the arrest warrant been issued to her? Because there was a Nairobi Mall attack and they are connecting her to that attack, right? She is prime suspect for that attack, which means would held be correct option in the first one? It cannot be, no? Who is being held with the Nairobi Mall attack? No. Definitely not attacked. Option A, out. I can't say who's being held with the... Held means what? To hold someone means you've already caught them. Right? So it cannot be option B for the first one. You can hold hands. I don't know about holding arms in terms of collocations, right? But what can you do? What is the collocation? You can link arms. You can join arms, but you can't apply that in the first. Who's being joined with the Nairobi Mall attack? Incorrect, right? Illogical. Which means definitely not caught with the or caught arms, right? Caught doesn't agree with the second context. Joined doesn't agree with the first context. Held doesn't agree with the first context, which means it leaves us with linked. She has been associated with that attack. She is the one who is under prime suspect. She has been linked to that attack. That's why they have issued an arrest warrant. The next one, it was so slippery, some of the walkers, you can link arms. You can hold hands. You can join arms, but I can't use join in the first context. So, in both the contexts, the correct answer would be linked. Are you clear? Yeah? So, the idea is to look for collocations and understand meaning, right? Most of you, I'm sure, did not understand the meaning of the first sentence. That's why you just blindly said, okay, held with the Nairobi Mall attack. Vijay, what I would advise you to do is, I don't want to take away from what we are currently explaining. I want you to go back and listen to the video again slowly. I've explained it very thoroughly with example sentences. You will understand it. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't want to go back and forth. Yeah, I hope you understand. Okay, let's look at the last one. I dashed into the telephone box and dialed 100. A French climber scaling a glacier of Mont Blanc got more than satisfaction for his efforts when he dashed upon a treasure trove of emeralds, rubies and sapphires that had been buried for decades. Yes, Nagini, I am assuming this is the last one. Options: went, entered, struck, got, stumbled. Let's look at this. Understand context, so you will pick the right word to associate with, right? Also look for hey Upadhyay, this is a refresher session, which means we are discussing questions from the AIMs, right? It's not linked specifically to a topic because we're discussing different question types. Okay. Vijay, are you Tamil? I probably explained to you it in Tamil. Most of you have come back and said stumble, stumble, stumbled. One of you say got. Got upon a. No. Yes. Give me the clue. Tell me the clue, guys. See, what I can quickly eliminate is option B, right? Entered into is incorrect, superfluous in meaning. You can't say entered into. Enter itself means to get into something, so out. When he went upon, not happening. A is out. Struck. When he struck upon a treasure, maybe. But I struck into the telephone box doesn't make sense, right? Out. Join can be used with a lot of things elsewhere, Murli. Join the club. Join hands. If you're looking at collocations, join me. Got. I got into the telephone, yes. But when he got upon, incorrect. It has to be option E. I stumbled into the telephone box and dialed 100. So maybe this person was in a hurry. Maybe somebody's trying to attack him and he wanted to call the police immediately. So by the time he got to the booth here, right, he's stumbling into it. Second sentence, yes, let's look at the meaning. A French climber scaling a glacier of Mont Blanc got more than satisfaction for his efforts. So the objective or the purpose of this climber is to, hey, let me, climb this mountain. But what the surprise was, what? He got more than satisfaction. Why? Because he stumbled upon a treasure. To stumble upon a treasure means chance. He got lucky, right? He never expected that he will find this emeralds and rubies and sapphires that has been buried for decades there. So it's something that happened by chance. Stumbled upon in the context, second context means by chance. He got lucky. Stumbled upon is a collocation. So the answer is option E. Okay? Alright. We're going to stop here and why don't you look it up? Who is this? Murali, Jaya Murali. Just Google is there, right? Just put join with. In fact, it's there, right? You can of course join with somebody or something. Like a get together. I can either say, hey, why don't you join me for this party? Or why don't you join with those group of guys who are going for a party, right? In terms of sentence construction, yes, you can. Okay, so 5 out of 5, huh? Too much. Yeah, so I'm sure you've come across this question pattern, right? It's not a new one. Yes, correct, Anand. To stumble upon something means by accident, right? It was not something that you were expecting or not something that was prepared. It just happened by accident. You got lucky, by chance. Okay. So yeah. So which means my worry is that most of you are not taking the tests. Please do that. Let me know if anybody got 5 out of 5. I'd just like to see your names. No, held or linked wala sentence cannot be confusing. Just look up collocations, right? You can hold hands, you can link arms. You can't hold arms. Incorrect. Yes, we will continue to meet in our next sessions. Please, those who are undergoing still, technical issues, don't worry. Everything will be sorted out because work is in progress. I know a couple of issues have already been solved with respect to login issues and stuff like that, right? 3 out of 5, that's okay. 3 out of 5, all right. Shekhar and Ashok. Where's that new girl, yeah? I hope she didn't get offended because I didn't see her participate at all. So if you're still there, don't worry, that's how we learn. We learn together. The new girl, I would like you to be more active and participate. You will learn more. Okay, so welcome again for those of you who are new, and you need to actively participate, not just in these sessions but take the tests. That's what I'm saying. Nandri Vanakam. Madhu Tapa, me, ma'am, 5 out of 5. See my name, it's rare. Okay, so yeah, we'll continue to look at stuff. Most importantly, I want to reiterate the fact that I want you guys to, what do I say, put up questions that you're looking at for me to cover, right? Say, this is the challenging question type. Let's look at more of jumble sentence. Let's look at more of closed passage. Because support will just take up new pattern questions. The importance will go for that, right? And then maybe some challenging question types. But if you come back and say, right, you are the customer, so you need to come back and say customer's choice, right? You tell me this is what we can do, let's focus on this particular question type. Or if you find something challenging, interesting, different, put it up in the discussion forum, we'll take that up. Okay, all right guys, take care, bye, see you in the next class.